deportation. JAMB cancels UTME registration of 817 candidates. Plus, Zelensky urges UK to send fighter jets to Ukraine. Hello, this is News Live on Via Television. I am Deborah Ndukaife. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointments of 3 rectors and registrars of 3 federal polytechnics in the country. This is contained in a statement signed by the Director of Press and Public Relations of the Federal Ministry of Education, Ben Gung, in Abuja. Dr. Paul Darlington Ndubisi was appointed Rector, Federal Polytechnic Isuocha Abia. Professor Mohamed Magaji, Rector, Federal Polytechnic Kabo, Kano State, and Dr. Duke Okoro, Rector, Federal Polytechnic Orogun, Delta State. Gun said the appointments were for a single term of 5 years each, with effect from January 17 and are in line with the Federal Polytechnic Act 2019. In a related development, Gun said that Buhari also approved the appointment of 3 registrars for the polytechnics. The Supreme Court has temporarily halted the move by the federal government through the Central Bank of Nigeria to ban the use of the old Naira notes from February 10, 2023. A 7-member panel led by Justice Okoro halted the federal government plan in ruling in an ex parte application brought by 3 northern states by Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara. Recall that the February 10 deadline for the currency swap announced by the Central Bank of Nigeria pitted governors Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna, Yaya Bello of Kogi State, and Bello Matawale of Zamfara State against 14 political parties which threatened to boycott the February 25th election. Should the CBN extend the time limit, this is as a High Court of the Federal Capital Territory restrained the President Muhammadu Buhari, CBN, its governor, Godwin Emefiele, and 27 commercial banks from suspending, stopping, extending, or interfering with the currency swap terminal date. The order was handed down on Monday by Justice E. Eneche following an application by 4 political parties. The presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Bola Tinubu, has expressed delight over the pronouncement of the Supreme Court asking the Central Bank of Nigeria to suspend the deadline on new Naira and cashless policies. Tinubu, in a statement issued and signed by Bayo Onanuga, Director of Media and Publicity, APC, PCC, said the governors, especially the APC governors who instituted the suit against the CBN and federal government at the Supreme Court, acted well on behalf of Nigerians who have been made to bear the brunt of Nigerian Naira redesign policy that has been poorly implemented. The APC standard bearer said by recourse to court action and the Apex Court ruling, the governors have saved the country from needless political and economic crisis and miseries which have clearly become the unintended consequences of the monetary policy of the Apex Bank. Senator Tinubu noted that the Supreme Court ruling coincided with the advisory of the International Monetary Fund urging for the extension of the deadline for the swap of the old Naira notes, going by the problems being experienced across the country in getting the new notes. Independent National Electoral Commission Professor Mahmoud Yakubu says the February 25th and March 11th elections will hold despite the fuel scarcity and the limited availability of Naira notes nationwide. Yakubu revealed this to State House correspondents shortly after briefing the President Muhammadu Buhari and other members of the Federal Executive Council at the State House, Abuja. He said the Commission has settled the 2 major obstacles to its operations: fuel scarcity and the scarcity of Naira notes.
It's a general briefing, it's in keeping with the tradition that on the eve of major elections, general election in particular, the Commission is invited to brief Council. It is also invited to brief the Council of State. The briefing for the Council of State is going to take place on Friday the 10th. So basically it's about the readiness of the Commission to conduct the elections. So it took members of Council through all the preparations that we have put in place for the election, the few challenges that we are facing, and the steps that we have taken to address those challenges.
The Taraba State All Progressive Congress caucus in the National Assembly has rejected the removal of the state chairman of the party, Ibrahim El-Sudi. While addressing the media at the press conference in Abuja, the chairman of the caucus and senatorial candidate for Taraba Central, Honorable Danjuma Shidi, says the impeachment was orchestrated by a self-serving section of the state. The chairman was done without forming a quorum or consultation with the state caucus created by Article 12.9 of the APC Constitution, while also describing the impeachment as a calculated attempt to sabotage the party's efforts at winning the 2023 general elections in the state at all levels. The caucus also accused some members of the anti-party activities, as some of them have been caught openly supporting the PDP in the state.
As the ruling political party at the national level and governing majority of states in Nigeria, the party cannot afford to appear like a huge joke by allowing some few and self-serving people to propose to have removed the party chairman in a way and manner at variance with the party constitution.
So for somebody to come out and say that Sudi is backing one candidate is just a mere allegation, because El Sudi was not a delegate. He was not a returning officer. The returning officers were sent from the national headquarters of the party.
As the 2023 general elections calm down, group under the auspices of Kaduna State Alliances Against Terrorism is calling on the security agencies as well as relevant authorities to investigate the Kaduna State PDP Guba candidate Isa Ashiru, alleging his support for bandits publicly on a national television. Speaking at a World Press Conference in Kaduna, chairman of the group Mok Kure says, despite the declaration of criminal elements as terrorists by President Muhammadu Buhari, the gubernatorial candidate Isa Ashiru continued to tag the terrorists as bandits, thus downplaying the evil of the terrorist group. Kure stated that Kaduna State, like other northern Nigerian states, is still nursing the bruises caused by the wicked of elements, which adversely affected numerous businesses and the loss of lives of citizens over time.
Our group noted with dismay that despite the designation of the criminal element as terrorists by President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration, Ashiru, who ought to have known better, deliberately continued to call them bandits. We feel he's using his platform and of course his big name and then the name of his party to downplay the evil and then the viciousness and then how severe the issue of insecurity is, because these people have graduated from bandits. They are now full-fledged terrorists of international concern.
The group expressed dismay towards the candidates supporting dialogue with terrorists rather than supporting the government, while calling on Isa Ashiru to step aside from the gubernatorial race as his ambition will blow ill wind to a state that needs genuine reconciliation to end insecurity.
I want to urge the people of Kaduna State to reject any candidate with hidden agenda aspiring to govern our state. A good leader should put all his agenda before the public so that they will judge him by that, not going to people's parlor to discuss certain agendas. 3, we want to urge Isa Ashiru to step aside from the gubernatorial ambition, which will not blow the state any good, but rather will blow ill wind at this critical stage.
When News Live returns, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board says it has cancelled the registration of 817 candidates in the 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. Details of this and more comes to you after the break. Just stay tuned.
Tat Fragrance, the new luxury fragrance for men and women.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Live, a recap of our top stories. Supreme Court stops old Naira notes, the deadline implementation. JAMB cancels UTME registration of 817 candidates plus. Zelensky urges UK to send fighter jets to Ukraine. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board says it has cancelled the registration of 817 candidates in the 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. The Registrar of JAMB, Professor Ishak Oloyede, made this known in Abuja after separate meetings with stakeholders. Oloyede said the registration were invalidated over identified infractions bordering on use of strange biometric fingerprints in the registration process. He said some registration officers in the affected 107 computer beta centers added one of their fingerprints to complete the registration process for the candidates. According to him, the 817 students will be given another opportunity to re-register for the exams, with the centers bearing the costs. Taraba State Governor Darius Ishaku has been called upon by the Kuteb Nation of Takum local government of Taraba State to desist from his plan to introduce rational system of the Okwe Takum. The call was made during a press conference organized by the Kuteb Yatso of Nigeria, KYN, in Jalingo, the Taraba State capital. Our correspondent Linda Guana tells us more the story.
The president of the Kuteb Nyatso of Nigeria, KYN, Emmanuel Ukwen, said the press conference becomes necessary so as to remind the state government of the challenge in filling in the vacant traditional ruler of Takum, which has lingered for 26 years. Emmanuel Ukwen narrates that the traditional stool was upgraded to third class status under the British colonial regime, second class in 1983 and first class in year 2005, and has been rendered vacant since then.
It has become imperative for Kuteb Nation to address you on this auspicious day on the challenges facing us as a people. It is the challenge of filling the vacant traditional stool of Okwe Takum, which has lingered for over 26 years now. The stool was upgraded to third class status under the British colonial regime. It was also upgraded to second class status in 1983, and it was also in 2005 upgraded to first class status. Below is the genealogical ascension to the throne of Okwe Takum.
Ukwen, who was reacting to an instruction given by the state government on 30th of January 2023 on the need for the Ukwe to be rotational between 3 tribes in Takun local government, narrates that the traditional stool has been in existence for about 100 years ago. He explains that the selection process has been handled by Kuteb kingmakers only without outside interference, as it was based on Kuteb people's native law and customs.
It is worthy to note that Takum traditional stone is over 100 years as a preserve for the Kuteb ruling houses of Likam and Akante, just like other stones that have been upgraded at the same period with it. The selection process has been handled by only Kuteb kingmakers without outside influence or interference, as it was based purely on Kuteb people's native law and customs.
The President calls on the Chief of Defense Security Advisor to the President, Human Rights Commission and other peaceful agencies to come to their aid as law-abiding citizens who respect law and order. Linda Gwana, Viewer TV News, Jalingo. While inaugurating the State Campaign Council, the tribal state governor, Darius Ishaku, charges members of the council to take up their responsibility in delivering PDP in the forthcoming elections. Governor Ishaku says the party, which has always been in control in the state since 1999, should be ready to win overwhelmingly all the positions required in the 2023 general elections. He urges INEC to ensure that the general elections are conducted free and fair across the country, commending them on their readiness to work with the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) in the coming elections.
Taraba State is a PDP-controlled state since 1999, and we intend to keep it that way by running an issue-based campaign. Some tremendous achievements we have recorded as a PDP run, including the blind, such as infrastructural developments and human capital development, all are there physically to see.
In his welcome address, the chairman of the PDP, Inu Bakari, says their gathering was to execute a major project that would drive their electioneering campaign in preparation for the 2023 elections. He explains that the task of consolidating the achievements of the tribal state and rescuing the council from its state of despair, the party has painstakingly nominated them to serve on the state campaign council.
In view of the importance of the task of consolidating the achievements of the government of Taraba State and rescuing our country from her current state of despair, the party has carefully, painstakingly nominated all of you to serve on the State Campaign Council (SCC). The campaign of our great party this season are deliberately structured for optional reasons. Hence, subject to the approval of the State Campaign Council (SMC) under the chairmanship of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Taraba State.
In his vote of thanks, the Director General of the party, Aminu Jika, says their campaign has taken a new dimension in this dispensation, as they will be instituting word-to-word and door-to-door campaign strategy. He says PDP has always been and will always be the winning party in the state, as they are going to engage all the stakeholders, party faithfuls and community leaders to ensure victory at the polls.
On behalf of the Campaign Council, State Campaign Council, and State Management Committee, we will do everything possible to win these elections handsomely. We are never in doubt, Your Excellency, that Taraba is our own. Taraba will be our own. Taraba will develop our own way.
Linda Gwana, Viewer TV News, Jalingo.
presidential campaign of the People's Democratic Party in Bauchi State witnessed a mammoth crowd of supporters. The presidential candidate of PDP, Atiku Abubakar, is overexcited by what he described as a massive support he has never seen from the beginning of his campaign tour across the country.
I want to thank you for this wonderful support, a support that we have not seen in any other place. I also want to thank Governor Bala Mohammed because for the good works he has done in Bauchi, that is what we are seeing here today. He has constructed roads, he has constructed schools, he has constructed hospitals, he has done all this. And we want to commend him for the good work he is doing. And we commend him to you people so that you can vote for him. So if you vote for PDP from top to bottom.
Atiku Abubakar pledges to actualize the exploration of oil in the north, which is discovered in Bauchi and Gombe states.
I have also pledged that the petroleum resources that has been discovered between Bauchi and Gombe will be exploited and brought back to the benefit of the people. I have also pledged to make sure that our young men and women receive loans to set up their own small and medium enterprises for self-employment.
Similarly, the national chairman of PDP, Senator Iochia Ayu, reiterates the commitment of the party to take over power from APC comes 2023 general election.
Today, I bring you the medicine for all your suffering, medicine for hunger, medicine for insecurity, medicine for sickness, medicine for your children not going to school. That medicine is called the PDP under the leadership of President Atiku Abubakar.
Also, Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad assures Atiku Abubakar and the party that the mammoth crowd of supporters witnessed during the campaign rally is a clear testimony that the state belongs to PDP 100%. Awal Hassan, Viewer TV News, Bauchi. Democracy provides freedom for any eligible person to exercise his full franchise, that is, to vote and be voted for, which is why some individuals who feel they have prospects aspire for leadership positions. However, in a quest to aspire for an elective position, there is the need for the aspirants to tell the electorate, who have the democratic power, about their plans and policies, which is what informs the decision of the Nigerian Union of Journalists and other professional bodies in Bauchi to call for this debate for the governorship candidates in the state.
The main objective of this debate is to shift the political discourse away from personality attacks to issues that are critical to the development of our society.
The debate was attended by 3 candidates of APC, Ambassador Sadiq Abubakar, PRP, Barrister Ahmad Umar, and the serving governor Senator Bala Muhammad, who is contesting for the second term under PDP.
We drew a line from where we took off or took over on a clueless NBC administration, where there was nothing, this, where everything had deteriorated in terms of services and infrastructure. So the thrust of the PDP administration in 2023 is not invention but continuity.
For me personally, I've been part of the two political parties in the past. I was in the PDP, I contested election. I was also in the APC. So hearing them talking to each other, it only gives me courage, and it encourages me to believe that yes, I have what it takes to lead this state.
An APC government will create an enabling environment where the people will have the sense of ownership of governance itself. Governance is about human beings. You know, currently what we have generally is there's a wide gap between those that are in position of leadership and those that are being led.
The three candidates, however, expressed confidence that if given the opportunity to govern, they will uplift the standard of living of the people, assuring that they will fulfill their campaign promises.
An APC government will certainly look at the issue of agriculture and will take steps to revamp the agricultural sector so that it will contribute to development of the state, not only in terms of provision of jobs, job opportunities, but also in terms of enhancing the economy of the state.
Ours is a multidimensional approach. Housing, we are building everywhere. We are making sure our youth are being employed and they are agitated and happy. The women, the empowerment that we have carried out is not something that is based on delusion. It's something that you can see.
When you talk about health care facilities, I believe it is not all about building hospitals and clinics. Yes, it is part of it. But we will ensure that we invest heavily. And when we invest, we will see to it that what we invested is spent for the purposes for which we invested.
The idea of debate in Bauchi State was first held in 2015 when the State Council of the Nigeria Union of Journalists collaborated with some professional bodies as well as trade union organizations. Awol Hassan, Viewer TV News, Bauchi.
Dignitaries within and outside Plateau State gathered at Cooking LCC Rawuru Fan of Barkiladi to celebrate with Plateau North Senator Ida Gang at 60. The gang uses the medium to appreciate God for people who have been instrumental to his progress right from his childhood, school years and political career.
And we remain committed to the good cause of governance. We remain committed in seeking justice, equity and fairness in the governance of our nation.
Former Governor of Plateau State Senator Jonah Jang and Bongom Jos, Dajakom Gambuba, rejoiced with Senator Ida Gang for clocking 60.
I want to congratulate my son Ida Gang, who has done 60. I want to congratulate his beloved wife and the entire family.
We thank God for bringing us into this sanctuary to rejoice with our son, our brother, our father, our husband in this journey of life. And we want to appreciate God Almighty for the fact that we remember to thank God.
A reception was held immediately after the service. For invited guests, some of them described Ida Gang as a humble leader.
I celebrate God and I celebrate men. I celebrate my constituency, Plateau North. I celebrate Plateau State. I celebrate Nigeria. I celebrate humanity. I celebrate freedom. I celebrate justice and equity. I celebrate fairness. And that is what I stand for. We are looking forward for a credible, fair, free election by INEC. And I pray that Nigerians will come out, take advantage of the opportunity to source for ourselves leaders. This is the moment. It is a moment. It's a destiny moment for Nigeria. It's a destiny moment for Nigeria. And God has placed it in our hands. It is the opportunity for us, take advantage of it, use our PBC very well, and of course, get ourselves leaders that would be catalytic leaders that are developmental and transformational, not cataclysmic leaders that will be severely destructive. This is my wish, and this is my call to Nigerians.
What I have seen in his life is consistency. He hasn't changed. He has always been a focused person, a very humble person, and a service-oriented person.
So I've known him as someone you can rely on, someone you can trust, somebody you can share a secret with, and you can be rest assured that it is confidential.
His life has given us an insight on how people are made by God.
Many describe Senator Gang's 60th birthday as a lifetime achievement. Nasir Saidu, Viva TV News, Jos.